Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two. Welcome. I can't say that enough. Welcome. Welcome. I'm always happy to have you guys here. I love you guys. And, yes, I'm stalling, okay? Settle down. I don't know why I'm stalling, but I am, alright? Welcome, once again, to Casting for Two. This is episode 32. That's right, 32. I don't know why I just had a brain fart. Sorry about that. Today we got a great episode for you. Before I get into the episode, I'd just like to say, thank you for listening, as always. Because I do appreciate all the listeners that I get. All the new ones, the old ones, non-listeners. I appreciate everyone. So keep doing what you're doing, castingfor2.com, as you know. Tell a friend out there. Why not? Share it. Sharing is caring. But anyway, enough with that. Today I got a good guest. Her name is Amelia Rose Blaire. She's on this little show called True Blood. I don't know if you've heard. I think it's about vampires. I don't know. Or about just, blood that has a problem lying, which is a stupid joke, and I'm sorry I even made that joke. But it was great talking to her. As I said, she's from True Blood. I had a great time chatting with her on how she, got into acting, the training, getting into character, which I'm always interested in. And I finally remembered and asked her the question I mean to ask every actor that I talk to. But you know what? Instead of me talking about it, why don't we listen to it? So I'm going to shut up now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. And Chris, cue the music, please. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just kind of chilling.
Nice.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm chilling as well. I have my cat in my lap, and it's a nice day outside.
Right on. You're in L.A.?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right on. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Chris. I'm from Casting for Two, and
nice to officially meet you.
Yes, officially now we have met.
Yes.
And it's
where are you right now?
Oh, me? I'm in Texas, San Antonio.
Oh, all right.
So
never been to Texas.
Really? You should go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny whenever I tell people, I live in Texas, with all the people that I talk to, the first thing they say is, "Oh yeah, I've been to Austin."
Yeah.
Which
is that? Oh no, I interrupted you, so you continue.
I was just gonna say, like, if there's only one town you go to in Texas, it would have to be Austin.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's where
I've heard beautiful things about Marfa. That's one that I've heard over and over and over again. But you have to go to Marfa.
Marfa.
Yeah, apparently it's beautiful, right? Everyone's been lying to me.
I've never heard of Marfa, Texas.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
Maybe I'm pronouncing Marfa.
I'm
Well.
sure it's real. I'm not.
Marfa, Texas. Yeah, Marfa, Texas. It's a real place.
Okay.
You should go.
Oh, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll go. You go to Austin. I'll go to Marfa.
Okay.
What?
All right.
I just what were they thinking when they said Marfa?
I don't know. I think you would, being from Texas, you might have a better idea than me. But if you don't know, then...
It sounds like somebody just kind of burped.
Maybe.
What should we call this town? Marfa.
It's supposed to be beautiful, apparently, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Texas, so I guess I'll have to check it out. I
Yeah,
guess.
and report back.
Oh, we'll do. No, but Austin is kind of the mecca for the arts.
Ah,
So arty, I'm not saying any other town is not arty, but Austin is a bit more than the other towns. So
yeah, yeah, it's the center.
exactly, it's where all the musicians go, and the film people go, and the painters go, and the hipsters and the people with big mustaches and goatees go.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a fun place.
There you go. But so this is Casting for Two podcast again. It's a loose show where we don't really have to talk about anything, or we could talk about everything, either or.
All right.
I enjoy talking with people, so that's why. I would like to find out a little bit more of your background, though. Very interested in people's backgrounds, and
All right.
I just the one question I ask people: how did you get into acting? Were you just a little kid, and when it hit you, or?
Well, when I was younger, I was a ballet dancer,
Mm-hmm.
and my younger sister started taking acting classes. And one day, I decided to accompany her to one of her classes,
Mm-hmm.
and I really, really liked it. And so that was where it started. And then she started doing some musicals, and then I kind of followed suit. So it was really my sister who opened my eyes to this world, and I thank her every day for that.
Mm-hmm.
But she was the one who started it.
Mm-hmm. And how did she get into it? Like, were your parents actors or art
No,
supporters?
yeah, both my parents are artists. My dad is an editor. He works in documentaries and he works in television, so he's in that whole world. And my mom is a photographer and also works with an early childhood education and was also a mime. So they were, very artistic, very supportive of all of us. And my sister was always much more social and much more outgoing than I was. I was a very shy little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my sister naturally gravitated towards acting because she loved just being in front of people and meet new people and talk. And I was always kind of back in the corner being like, "What are you doing? Stop it." Yeah, so that's how it started. But everybody in my family is extremely supportive, which is really incredible, because I know people whose parents don't necessarily support them, and it makes it really difficult. So having their support from the beginning has been such a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you get the bug from your sister. Do you then go out and do theater, or?
I started studying.
Okay.
That was the most important thing for me. I knew that at first I started taking teenage acting classes or stuff like that, and I just didn't. That's not what I wanted. I knew that if I was going to be an actor, I wanted to be the best I could be, and I wanted to learn from the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I started taking classes at the Sanford Meisner Center, and they had a 2-year program. And I managed to get myself in. I was the youngest person that I think had ever done their 2-year program. I was 15 at the time.
Wow.
And I did that for 2 years, and it was intense, and it was awesome. And I was working with people who are much older than me, so I felt very cool.
Yeah.
And I also, have always loved being around older people, because I feel like I can learn something from them. So I did that for 2 years, and then after that, I studied a lot with Lindsay Krause, who is an incredible teacher of mine, and she guided me towards the Atlantic Theater Company Conservatory, which I went to after graduating high school in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that program for 2 years, and that was like a mashup of everything, everything acting and everything about the instrument, and it was fantastic. It was everything I could have possibly wanted. And then I worked a little bit in New York City, and then I came back to LA because Atlantic had just started an LA master program focusing on film and television. So I followed that back out to Los Angeles, and then the rest is kind of history.
Right on. Okay. It's funny because, I mean, for people who don't know, they're who do the traditional college thing. They go through college, they do all these tests, lawyers, stuff like that. But acting is just as intense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to hear, people train years and years and years to learn how to, just change themselves in the blink of an eye.
For me, the thing that I found the most valuable about training is that there's so many different ways to get into a scene and to get into a character. Mm-hmm. And there's also a lot you have to know about yourself. Like, you have to be very self-aware, and you also have to be very aware of others. Because the most important thing in acting is the other person. It's not about how you're doing it, or, how good you can do a scene or how well you can emote. The main thing in any scene, anyone will tell you in one of these acting studios, is the other person. So you have to be able to read them and read them really quickly. So that was, I think, the most valuable thing. And, in acting class, in acting studios, they tend to break you down and then build you back up, because you come in with all of these preconceived ideas, and they want you to just drop all of them and learn what they're going to teach you. So it's very humbling. It's very emotionally, volatile, because you're dealing with a lot of stuff and facing a lot of things about yourself. So it's an intense program. It really is. Learning how to act is intense, but it's also very enlightening and exciting, and you make very, very good friends very, very fast. So that's good.
Right on. And the one thing I've always wondered is, so I don't know how into character you get when you're not shooting, but at the end of the day they wrap. How do you kind of come down from, if you shoot like a big emotional scene, how do you just, relax and become you again?
Well, that's actually, I've been finding, it's difficult for me to do that, because as an actor, when I get into a character, or I get into a scene, or I get into a state of mind, I'm there, and like all day, it's in me, and even the days leading up to it, I can like feel it brewing. So when we wrap, a lot of the time it's really hard to let that go, because you've been living in that truth for so long. I kind of feel like I've been training myself to be kind of like the guys from Inception, where you have a little token that brings you back. So like, going to visit with my boyfriend, or seeing my best friend, or calling up my sister, I have to have some kind of an emotional touchstone to bring me back, and do something that has nothing to do with what I just did for all day on set. Because the thing that happens generally is you go back and you go over all the stuff you did, and sometimes start second guessing, or like you can't let go of something. So it's really important to have a token, an emotional token, to like kind of click back in with. But it's definitely a difficult thing to do. And I admire actors that can just drop it on a dime. They're just finished with it, or like in between takes can just drop. A lot of the actors on True Blood are able to do that, and I'm always fascinated by that, and hope to be able to move more in that direction, because it can be hard sometimes. Yeah,
no, definitely. I mean, you're living as this person. I mean, part of your brain probably believes that you are this person.
Yeah, or in the situation, it's more about the situation, because I think that like every single role that I have played has a part of me. There's no way that they can't have a part of me, because I'm playing that role, and I didn't bring any of myself into it, I wouldn't have booked it, because people book characters that have a part of themselves in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more of the situation that you're living in. So like the given imaginary circumstance. Like last season, I had a really long day on set shooting this big interrogation scene in Fantasia with Alex Skarsgård and Kristen Bauer. And Rupina. We all had this big scene together,
mm-hmm.
and I was supposed to be like at the brink of hysteria the whole time. And we ended up shooting that scene for 7 hours. And I had done all this research on, Holocaust victims and what was going on with that to prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was living in that situation, like, for the entire day. And that was really difficult for me to let go of because, in my mind, I was like, there.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't really happening, I had to believe it in order to make the scene real, and in order to be able to be present and active when they called action, and then again when they called action again. And you're doing so many different takes, you're doing so many different angles. You have to just keep it alive and breathing all the time, because you don't just do it twice. You don't just do it 3 times. You're doing it like 50 times. So you gotta keep it fresh. So it's hard. It's hard to do, but it's a discipline that I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you mentioned True Blood, not True Bread. What was the process like of getting that show? Like, did you have to do lots of auditions, or did they just say, here you go, or they saw you previous work?
I had auditioned for that casting director quite a few times before, but never auditioned for True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was in town
mm-hmm.
The day before I got the audition, and her cat was hit by a car.
Ooh.
And so I got the audition while I was driving over to my mom's house to go and see my sister, see the cat, see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember walking out into the backyard, and my sister was just holding his body and was like screaming, wailing, is he alive? Is he still alive? Is my baby still alive? And I had never seen my sister like that before, and it touched me in a way. And then I looked at the scene that I had to do for the next day, and the character was about to be turned into a vampire and was begging not to die, like listing all the things that she still wants to do, and don't do this to me. And in any other circumstance, if I had gotten that scene before, I would have made it about not wanting to die. But because of the situation with my sister and her cat, and seeing that and the gravity of that, I made the scene about wanting to live. So that subtle shift was, I remember after I auditioned, I was like, whoa, what just happened? Like, I don't know what, something else kind of took over and ran with it. But I remember there was, a whole bunch of girls there. There always are. They all look like you, and you've seen them at many other auditions. So I did that, and then I got a call later that day saying that they wanted to see me again the next day. So I went back in, and it was just me and one other girl, and I just, jumped, and I did it again, and I finished it, and I was like, okay, well, that was fun, and that would have been cool to do True Blood, but I probably didn't get it. And then I got a call, I think 2-3 days later, saying that I booked it, and I literally did not believe it at all. I didn't believe it. I kept having to pinch myself. So it was surreal.
Right on. And so this is the last season of True Blood, which I'm not going to ask any spoilers because I'm not a fan of spoilers, so I don't want any spoilers.
I wouldn't tell them to you anyway.
Good. Contractually, you can't, but still, I wouldn't ask. But looking back at the experiences that you've had on the show, are there some good ones, some bad ones that you wouldn't mind sharing? that you can share
I
and
mean,
remember?
the incredible thing about True Blood that has been unlike any other show that I've ever done or any other project is that I get to do so many different things. I get to play with so many different colors. You know, the arc of Willa, the things that I've gotten to do and experience as Willa, first being a human, getting turned into a vampire, like when does that get to happen? You know, never.
Yeah.
So getting turned into a vampire, and then the whole anger of her father betraying her, and then, you know, being in a vamp camp and being in prison scrubs, and then breaking out and being high in the sunshine. And now this season, it's this kinds of things I'm playing with is, again, totally different than anything I did in the first season, in my first season. So I think that I don't know if I could pick one because they're all so different, and I think that's the thing that I find the most special is that is the differences and is the huge variety that I've gotten to and I'm continuing to get to play in, because that's just really unique, really unique. Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, at least it's, you know, good memories. Do you have any?
Yeah.
Do you have any projects lined up?
I have a film that is coming out sometime in the beginning of this year, called Angels and Stardust, and it's a movie I shot last summer with AJ Michalka, Alicia Silverstone, and Billy Burke, and it was a really fun film to shoot. It was set in the 90s in Texas, actually.
In Marf?
And no, a similar time, probably similar to Marfa.
Oh, okay.
It was a little like kind of, I don't know. Where we shot was beautiful. Obviously, it wasn't Texas, but it's like a trailer town, and it's about this girl who's like stuck in this town and she wants to get away, and the way that she escapes is through her imagination. And I played her best friend. So my character Loretta was very sassy and was only concerned with which boys she wanted to kiss that week, and very self-possessed. So it was a very different character than I've ever played before. So that was fun. And then one of my very dear friends wrote a film called This Is Where We Go, which we will hopefully be shooting this year. And I'm very excited to be able to support him because he's so talented, and we've known each other for so many years, and I'm very proud of him for writing such a powerful script. So I'm excited for that.
Cool. And so for the people at home who would like to stay in contact with you, see all the work that you've done, where can they do that?
You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is Amelia R. Blaire. And then I also have a Facebook fan page with same name, Amelia Rose Blaire. And and then of course, as you know, as the season premiere draws closer, more like goodies will be coming out. I'm sure of it. But yeah, we're just in the beginning of filming right now, so it's all very new and exciting again.
Gotcha. Right on. Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you. I'm glad we can finally talk.
Yes, likewise.
But unfortunately, we have to stop now. I got to go to Marfa. I got to go. I'm leaving right now.
Yes, I think you do got to go to Marfa.
All right.
I heard it. I think you'll enjoy it. From what I've heard.
But you have yourself a good day, and whenever you want to come back on, just let me know. I'd be happy to talk to you again. It was a real pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Hey guys, just a quick reminder, you can always catch up with these episodes on castingfor2.com. You can also follow me at Twitter at castingfor2 or send me an email at castingfor2@gmail.com.